going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike. Nothing But Niners crew is here for the live reaction show. Man, what a game, guys. What a game. I can't believe the 49ers showed up the way they did, or didn't show up, I guess is probably the better way to say it. So before we get any of all that, I want to tell you guys who we are. Again, this is the Nothing But Niners channel, man. We are here, live reactions like we do every single week. The overreaction show is probably what you want to call it. All right. You guys make sure you give us a follow on here. Click the subscribe button if you haven't done that before. Thank you guys for watching if this is your first time. Also, check out the website, nothingbutniners.com. All right. You guys be sure to check us out over there. That way you will find all the articles. We have a slew of great writers over there. You get a ton of content all the time. You guys can also find the pages to our YouTube, which is this. You can also find the pages to our Snapchat, Nothing But 9ERS, our Twitter, Nothing But 9ERS, our Facebook, Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out with spaces in between. All right, you guys have a ton of ways to find us, and also our podcast. Yes, that's right. We also do a separate podcast that is not video. All right, so you guys, let's talk about it. I'm going to pull up this live chat here, man. I'm so upset. This game, it's not even a matter of whether or not I wanted to win. I didn't think the Niners were going to win. I was trying to convince myself all week long. Yeah, Robert, you're right. We got whooped. I was trying to convince myself all week long that we stood a shot, that we could actually win this game. I was talking about how the benefit of us having C.J. Beathard for the first time, a rookie. You know what I mean? I was convincing myself that Cowboys aren't going to be able to game plan for someone they haven't seen before. Listen, apparently neither can Kyle Shanahan. This game was fucking horrible. Kyle Shanahan had no idea what he was doing with this offense this week. Stephen has jumped in here, man. Nick, I mean, what's going on?
Man, look, guys, I was more drained by the way some of the faithfuls were acting at the game today, too. I had a fan sitting next to me talking to, oh, just fire Shanahan, fire this person, fire that person, But, man, overall, the play between the offense and defense, I mean, Beathard had like 5 batted passes. Kilgore was getting destroyed all day. It didn't help that Trent Brown. Went out with a concussion. I was wondering why Beatles was on the field, and then Mike was like, "Oh, Trent Brown got a
he's being evaluated
for a concussion." So, but man, Mike, it was depressing, man. It was very depressing being there. I mean, overall, it's been a great weekend. It was cool as shit to be at Levi, and see that. But man, the ass whooping that we took today was unreal. It was just unreal.
Yeah, so Stephen, man, I'm going to toss it to you because I know you popped in before Croc did, and we're going to get to Croc too. But witnessing all this stuff, man, I mean, come on, give it to me. How do you guys feel about this one?
It's disappointing. I had higher hopes, but there was literally nothing going our way. And it started with the Trent Taylor fumble, and everything went the Cowboys' way. We couldn't catch any break, and our defense was fit this week. It's disappointing. I mean, all these close losses aren't great either, but losing by 30 points is there are better things.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I agree with you, man. They talk about. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna bounce to the Croc. Time, well, the close games are right there. We're right there. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but Croc, you played, man. How would you rather lose a game? Would you rather lose a close game, so heartbreaking, knowing you were right there, and then I feel like you step back and you probably say, "Damn, if I did this different, we probably would have won that game." Or would you rather get blown out and be like, "Look, man, we just weren't the better team today"? So, tossing this to a player who's been there and done that, how would you prefer to lose if there's a such thing?
It depends on the situation. If I'm a playoff team and we get blown out one game, you can just say, "Hey, we just didn't show up to play. We're gonna get back to it next week." If you are a team that's 0-6 and you've been in games, and you feel like, okay, now we're gonna take that next step, and then you get blown out, now that's probably a little bit more disheartening because now it feels like, man, we've been so close, and then now we just took 10 steps backwards, and we don't have that thought process of a winning team where, okay, we got blown out, but we like 49ers, what was it, 2013, maybe 2014, week 2, we got blew out by the Seahawks. And then we came back and, went on a run of, a bunch of wins and beat the Seahawks later in the season. We don't have that type of team. We haven't established that type of winning mentality. So, I think if we're in a rebuilding situation, it really hurts to get blown out, especially after, the close games.
You talk about this winning mentality and things like that. And again, I'm going to toss this right back to you. I keep hearing that. Is that a thing, mentality, or do you just win? It's kind of the reason I'm asking that is because last year, people were talking about, Cam Newton was being immature last year and all that. But when they were 15-1, oh my God, look at the leadership all over this team. And Cam Newton is matured and he really grew into what he needed to be to become a successful quarterback. Then when they start losing, he gets accused of being the exact opposite of everything that people were saying to him before. So, I mean, is it really a such thing as a winning mentality, or is it just going out winning games?
It's a winning mentality when you know you can win. It's like anything else. If gosh, my daughter's crying. If I'm, if I'm going up against, I'm a cornerback and I go up against this receiver, and I know I've beat his ass plenty of times, I'm gonna go into that battle with, the mentality of, man, I can beat him. And if anything goes wrong, I've beat him before, so I'm not even tripping off that. I'll come back next game. But when you haven't won, you haven't beat this guy, and he beats you every time, it's hard to have a winning mentality going forward, against that person. So I think that there really is a winning mentality. You can feel it in buildings. You can feel it, where you when I signed with the San Jose SaberCats, they had won. The first couple of winning teams I played on, we weren't winners. Played on the SaberCats, and they had a winning mentality. Everything we did like champions. Every single thing we did like champions, and went on to have, the best record in Arena League history. But it was because of how we prepared. We didn't prepare as if a team trying to get over the hump. We didn't prepare like a team, we're so close, we're trying to get better. It was, man, we're preparing because we're going to kick everybody's ass. And that's exactly what we did. So I think it is. There really is a such thing as winning mentality, but you have to actually win to get that. And then if your leader is weak, well, I think Cam Newton is weak-minded. So I think the big issue with him is when things go his way, he's great. When things don't go his way, he pouts, and he's been like that since day one. So with Cam, is a little bit different. But with most people, like a Tom Brady, every time he steps on the field, you can just look at him. I remember watching him against the 49ers last year. I was at the game, Niners versus Patriots, and I'm like, man, I get to see Brady. And you just watch him, everything he does, and he just has like this confidence about him.
So
get that unless they win.
So let me ask you this now, and then this is my last. I'm going to get off of that because I got some comments I want to read, but this is my last little rebuttal for that, and I don't know if Nick has something to ask you. But that winning mentality, does that start from coaching? Is that a mentality that is adopted and spread by the coaches? Is that something that leaders in the locker room? Is it a culmination of everything? Like, where does it come from? Why don't we have that? I've seen young teams be successful in the NFL. When Seattle went on their run, when they started what they were doing 4 or 5 years ago, they were like the second youngest team in the NFL. Everybody on that team was 2 or 3 year guys. Like, where does that winning mentality come from?
It's definitely with leadership. I mean, even if you think of the personality of a Sherman, they've always been like that. You think of the personality of Marshawn Lynch, who fit with everything that they want to do. A grimy guy is everything that they put in place there. It fit, and it fit what Pete Carroll wanted to do, and it wasn't overnight either. They weren't all that great the year before they got Russell Wilson. When they had Tavares Jackson playing quarterback, they went to the
playoffs. They beat the Saints in the playoffs. That was
the year when the Niners.
Year.
What about the year before that? How were they with the year before that? Or was that Pete Carroll's first year when they went the 7-9?
I think Pete Carroll and Marshawn Lynch, they were 7-9, right? That was the year that they Marshawn Lynch and that earthquake and all that shit, right?
Yeah, but even then, okay, so think of a 7-9 team, all right, and they had the veterans and things like that. Sherman, so that wasn't, or maybe was that Sherman's rookie year?
It had to be. I think it had to be, right?
So
I'm not
that would
sure.
have been 2000.
Like
I think he
2010.
came into the league 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think it was
that
like
would be the
2011,
second year.
2010, 2011. So now you have guys that at least they went through a year of it. Pete Carroll, this was actually his second head coaching job, and he knew exactly how he wanted to run everything. And then he got players that had talent. That's all. I mean, you hit and you got players that have talent. And then you add some pieces in free agency. You can turn things around quick. We've seen it with the Niners. They didn't have a winning mentality when Shanahan first took over, but they had some guys that can play some damn football. They had the Justin Smiths already. They had the Willis, Takeo Spikes, and Bowman, and Bowman waiting to come in. And yeah, Deshaun Goldson, who was a special teams guy for a few years before he got his first shot at free safety. And then now everybody's on the same page. And then Shanahan brings, Harbaugh brings that winning mentality. Harbaugh brings that winning mentality from the places he had been. Everywhere he went, he was a winner. So he brings that mentality in, and he had the talent. Right now, the Niners don't have the talent. Niners don't have the talent right now.
Okay. All right. So let me look at some of these comments real quick, and we're gonna keep overreacting over here. Okay. We got still wearing my Niners gear with pride. Absolutely, man. You don't lose faith because you lose, and your team isn't the best right now. We need a QB. That's all. Let's talk about that, guys. All right. I'm gonna pass it over to Nick first, and do you think we're just a QB away?
No, definitely not just a QB away. I've been saying weeks, everybody's been screaming for Beathard. Beathard's not ready, man. And I still don't think that he's ready. And this is what I've said before, that throwing a rookie into a situation like this can either destroy him or make him. It doesn't look good for him right now. This offensive line is getting destroyed every play. Tomlinson's getting destroyed. He's not playing as well as we thought he was going to play. With Trent Brown going out, getting a concussion today. Staley's been miserable the last 3 weeks. I mean, he's getting beat on two-man rushes, and allowing sacks. Is this the time? Did Shanahan make the right move by putting in Beathard right now? I mean, what's your opinion on it, Stefan?
You've heard me say it in our group chat. I don't think this was the right time. I think it was more around the bye week. But it is what it is now, and we get an extended look at Beathard. To Mike's question, though, I don't think we're just a QB away. We need help at probably cornerback. We need help at linebacker. We need help at pass rush. Our interior offensive line is basically Joe Staley is on a decline. His last good game was against the Rams. We need another wide receiver to complement Garçon. There's so many holes still on this roster, so just a QB won't bring us all the wins we need.
I know watching today, like personally for me, there wasn't many receivers getting open. There wasn't a lot of separation, and that could have been because of the pass rush. But, I mean, Dallas's defense isn't as good as they look today. They haven't been good, the entire year, and they came out and made us look like a high school football team today. Beathard couldn't even set his feet. He couldn't get 3-step back in the pocket. He moved out of the pocket and made the right decisions. And I said to Mike sitting there watching today, I was like, when he ran for that touchdown, I'm like, man, this just reminds me of Kaepernick days right now. The offensive line's getting blown up. The quarterback can't stay in the pocket, and he just takes off. And it was the only thing that we could do. Do I think we're a quarterback away? No. I think there's a lot more pieces that we need. Offensive line being one of them. We've stressed that here over at Nothing But Niners for the entire offseason, as well as the season going on. Offensive line is something that we definitely need. And I really no. He's a rookie offensive line. This puts me in time.
Hello? You there?
Now we can hear you again.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
hear
you
you.
guys. What was the last thing you guys heard? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think you were
Something
talking about
about the
Bethard.
offensive line.
Okay. So I was saying, did we judge Brian Hoyer?
Nope, back out.
Because of Brian Hoyer's play compared to bringing in C.J. Beathard, and we're judging C.J. Beathard on the offensive line. Who?
His question is because right now we're looking at CJ Brian Hoyer too soon because of all those same exact reasons. That's what we're asking Croc now.
My bad. It was breaking up. But from what I saw today, I think this was the first time where it wasn't really the things are, how can I explain it? I didn't see a problem with how Bethard played. I thought for the amount of pressure, which I said it before, I wasn't worried about our tackles as much. I was really worried about the interior of Dallas Cowboys because Irving's back and he's a monster. I said it before. I was like, I'm not worried about DeMarcus Lawrence. I felt Trent Brown would do well with him. He was shutting down Lawrence until they moved him to the other side and he beat Staley. But the interior, I never imagined that the interior rush would be that bad. I didn't see that. As far as Beathard, I think that's the worst game our offensive line has played. And if you think that our offensive line has played, that poorly, from here on out, then yeah, it's a bad time to, put Beathard in. But if they play like what they played, in the last, few games where, yeah, they're going to give up something here and there, but it's not a consistent pressure type thing, I think they'll be fine. I just don't know. At this point, I don't know which line is going to show up. But I really didn't think Beathard played poorly. I thought, maybe he missed a few throws. But with as much pressure as he had, he was still throwing passes in. He was still standing in there, sometimes too long. We saw him take two sacks and fumble. But I think, you have to see what you get, what you have with him. And there's no better time than now. Later in the year, if people are, kind of down on the season, they're even blocking even worse, you're really not going to, know what you have with them. So I would say right now, you can't really lose anything from having them in there.
All right. So, Stefan, what about you, man? We watched the game. What was your opinion on Beathard and why he performed the way he did? And do those same excuses apply to Brian Hoyer or not? Stefan? We're gonna have to stop this because of our connection. Can you guys hear us?
I can hear you guys.
All right, so I think Stefan froze. All right, so then forget it. We'll go ahead and move on then. Let me look at these comments over here really quick. CJ playing with what he had. All right, Nick, you were breaking up. Yeah, guys, look, we're in a hotel right now, and the reception here isn't good at all. So we're probably going to wrap this one up sooner than we normally do. We're not going to do a very long reaction show. The reason I'm so calm today is because I win. I spent all week long trying to talk myself into why and how the 49ers. And listen, man, I think we've got to. This is just a bad team. Hopefully, you guys are getting everything that I'm saying right now. But we have to accept the fact this is a bad team. We got to do a lot better. Thanks, Steve, for letting me know you can hear me. We got to do a lot better, and that's really, really the bottom line. Bates Motel. Nah, bro.
Man.
But yeah, so like we really got to get stuff together as a team. We have to be patient with this team. This is not going to be an overnight turnaround thing. We got to get back to reality. All those close games were kind of giving the faithful a lot of hope and all. And honestly, lose this way so we can see what we're actually made of, man. I heard about the squabbles on the sideline. Tart and Tartt and Armstrong were going at it. Then Robinson was getting into it with his DBs and the other people in the secondary. Now we're going to find out what this team is made of. Every time NFL Network talks about how the Seahawks are fighting on the sideline, they get praised for it. That's a team working through its problems. Because of all these close losses, everyone's like, it's okay. We almost there. Now we're getting our asses whooped. Now all of a sudden people are getting fired up. Now people are suddenly, getting in each other's faces and everything and trying to encourage or say, look, you need to be better. Now we're going to find out who we really have. And I think we needed this kind of loss to snap us back to reality, man.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that. Adversity comes and goes all the time in the NFL, you know what I mean? But I'm tired of hearing, well, let's see what our team goes through when they go through adversity or how they react or how they do this. Guys, we know we're a young team. We know we have a contract for a 6-year contract for our GM and our new head coach. Mike brought up a question today or a theory today saying that he thinks we need to bring in an offensive coordinator, that Kyle Shanahan has too much on his plate. That could be something that needs to come. You know what I mean? That could be something that this front office is looking forward to do and possibly do so that Kyle Shanahan can focus more on coaching a offensive coordinator to be able to coach play calling and stuff like that. And it's not saying that we would change the system or anything like that, but it could possibly well be implement Kyle Shanahan's system and teach this offensive coordinator something. So that's something else we're going to have to look forward to, look out for and see if we go through that because it could be a possibility. But Mike, you're 100% correct with the players fighting on the sideline. It could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing as well.
See what it is. Stefan, what do you think about all that, man? Glad you popped back in.
Yeah, my connection broke up. It's good to see the team has some fight left in it. I wouldn't put too much in it now because it's the first time basically this was reported, and it just shows the players are dissatisfied, which is understandable with 7 losses in 7 games. So I hope they can rally around each other and get back on their feet and show a different performance in the next game or next games. So I wouldn't analyze it too much now. Yeah, and what was the second thing you talked about?
No, he was saying, does Kyle Shanahan have too much on his plate?
Oh, right. I said that before the season started, that it might be a possibility that a new head coach who has to figure things out, who is a first-time head coach, might be overwhelmed a bit. So far, it didn't look like Kyle Shanahan was overwhelmed with game managing situations, and he said before the season that he wanted to teach someone he knew from his staff to be offensive coordinator at some point. So I think he does that for next season or the season after that, but I don't think it's too much of a problem because he has shown that he can handle it.
Yeah.
So there's 2 questions that we want to get to, and then we're going to get out of here. This first one is from Slacks. Well, actually, this first one's from Slacks. It says, "Did y'all see Robinson crying? Was that something that they showed on TV and not the sidelines? I saw Robinson getting a little emotional on the sideline. I didn't see him crying, but I saw someone else say, 'Oh my God, we got OBJ.' Is that what they were talking about? That was I saw on Twitter. They were like, 'We got Odell Beckham Jr. on our team now.' Is that because he was crying? Is that what happened? Like, did you see that, Stefan?
No, I didn't. Ali, I think said that Robinson cried on the sidelines, but I had problems with my stream, so I haven't seen every single scene. I can't say anything about it, but that's a new thing.
They're saying, yeah, he was like literally crying. Okay,
what was he crying about, Slacks? with us being there, it was hard to see everything that was going on. So you guys probably got that on the TV as well. Did he kick the field goal net?
Was he crying? Like, did he have his hands on his face crying? Like, I don't understand. But the other question here, that we want to talk about this, and like I said, we're gonna wrap this up. What do you think about Foster, man? Is Foster gonna have a long career, or is he gonna be a guy who was just getting injured because of how he plays? Stefan?
I don't think so. His first injury, he twisted his ankle really bad, and that could happen to anyone. And the second injury, I think he landed on the foot of Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know which exact scene it was that it happened, but I wouldn't put these now as injury prone injury or. I wouldn't declare Foster as injury prone just yet. I think I'd give him some time because I think these were two injuries that could happen to anyone in the league.
Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we were talking about this on our way back, and I was saying I don't think Foster was injured too much in his collegiate career. I don't even think he missed any games in his collegiate career, but I'm not sure. I
know he played with a club on his hand at one time.
And you were saying that, like, he played through injuries.
Yeah.
Which at this level, it's good that you can play through some injuries, but it also depends on what the injury is, because it's going to get back healthy completely. And, we all know these players go through bruises, bumps and bruises and whatever you want to call them. But today, I mean, I was impressed with him. I mean, it was his first game at middle linebacker. I think he's only going to get better. But the problem is right now is there's really not any leadership on this defense at all. And that is real.
Yeah, I think it was
the way players are playing too.
You good? You think it was what?
All right. I think it was an up and down game for Foster. He had some good moments. He had some bad. And I mean, it's his first start as middle linebacker and his second game overall. So let's not forget he is a rookie. You can't just expect everyone to step in and be an all-pro from day one. And I'm willing to give him some time. He missed a few weeks with his ankle sprain, and this game we should just all forget this game. It was terrible.
We should just forget this game.
Yeah, but we can't. I mean, we can forget it and move on, but we can't forget about the ass whooping we just took. I mean, these teams.
No.
Yeah, why not?
No, sure. We have to keep this in mind and take things away from it. But it sometimes those are the losses. It's not like just we played bad, but we had some very bad luck in certain situations, and it's sometimes everything goes against you, and this was one of these games.
Yeah, but we can't keep saying that. I mean, we keep saying that every week, week in, week out. This is going bad against us. This is going bad against us. Why can't we just say this team is bad?
Oh no, these other games, there were self-inflicted wounds. There were penalties or a bad quarterback play or whatever you want to call it. But this game, this was just bad luck. Like, we didn't have a lot of influence on it, and that's what I meant when I said.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm just talking in generalized question, comment is. Guys, I've been up on this team, you know what I mean? But I can really literally come out and say right now that we are bad. We are a bad football team all around.
Yeah.
Of course we are. And we're not just one quarterback away. We're not just one, offensive lineman away. We're not just one DB away, right? We are A, leadership away. B, a quarterback, probably a whole interior offensive line, and a Joe Staley position. DBs can't really say anything, but pass rush. I mean, our guys we barely had any pass rush today, and I'm not going to sit here and say that there was not a lot of penalties that were called on our defensive line. So, I mean, you agree with that?
Yeah, no, there was holding like often. Like we didn't get to the quarterback at all, but bro, there was a lot. Like I finally got tired of complaining about it. I was like, look, they're just gonna allow them to hold us. And I understand that people say, oh, there's holding on every play, but there was one play in particular where Ezekiel Elliott actually picked somebody up. Like he grabbed somebody and picked somebody up, and there was no penalty for it. Like I'm like, yo, I give up. I'm not gonna sit here and keep complaining anymore. Like I just gotta stop. There's no need of saying anything anymore.
It was bad. I mean, there were some plays too where Dak should have been called for intentional groundings. There were a lot of bad plays in this game, but that's not saying we were going to win. I'm not saying that if Brian Hoyer was playing, we would have won. Today was just an all-around fucking disaster. It was. It really was. I mean, I traveled halfway across the all the way across the United States to see this team play. And Jesus Christ, they played like shit. I mean, give me a little bit of a competition game here. Yo, Zeke touched the ball, and it seemed like it was a first down every single play. I said to Mike coming into screen passes. We got to watch the screen passes. What's he do? They kill us with the fucking screen passes today. 75 yards. It looked like guys didn't know how to freaking tackle.
Yeah,
I'm about to go on Ali and start crying today. Like, it's sad. But, but the best thing about today's game.
No, nobody thinks that we would have won this with Hoyer.
No, definitely. I'm not saying that. Yeah.
With Hoyer at all.
No, definitely not.
Listen, honestly, the game probably would have went the same way because Hoyer would have got hit a time or two like Beathard did, and then he would have been out.
Yeah.
And then Beathard would have went in, and the same shit would have happened with Beathard. So it's the same. It's the same shit.
Yeah, it definitely was. But guys, I mean, I agree, Ryan. We definitely have too many rookies right now. This team is a complete turnover. But you know what? That's what we're here for, man. We're faithfuls. And, you know, as bad as we don't like seeing this team lose, it's a process, man. We got to all trust the process. We got to look for the goods and understand the bads and accept the bads. Things are going to change. When? I don't know.
Who do you think the 49ers missed the most today of the players who weren't there? Bowman, Armstead, Foster in and out. Like who do you think the Niners could have used the most?
I would have to say Trent Brown.
Trent Brown.
Zane Beatles was playing, man. He was getting butt raped. I mean, he was getting butt raped today. It was the same Zane Beatles.
I think. Who do you think, Stefan?
Yeah, it's probably Trent Brown. We could have used 2 or 3 of him just for pass protection. The offensive line was a disaster in pass protection this week, but I think Eric Armstead would have been nice too because he was an actually pretty good run defender, and I think he could have solidified our defensive line a little bit against the run.
Yeah, I think Armstead would have been.
Yeah, I mean we had over 250 rushing yards against us, so that's our offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and guys, I was saying in the stands today, man, I was still pissed off about why we did not feed Carlos Hyde the football as much as we should have today. This guy was trying to eat, man. I mean, he was running with great anger today. And you notice this every time we play against Dallas Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott, Carlos Hyde is trying to prove why Zeke was behind him.
Yeah, Carlos Hyde. I mean, he really literally popped off the screen. He was really good, really angry, and fought for everything single inch he got. And the problem is, if you're down 14-0 or 20-3, you just can't run it. I mean, you have to play a little bit of catch up, and that's probably why.
No, but I'm saying even in the pass game, he was doing well. He was catching the ball smoothly, good transition, turning upfield and getting those yards after catch today. Like you said it today, our receivers don't try to get yards after catches.
Yeah.
That was a big thing that we stood out today. They literally just go down or go right out of bounds. There's no stiff arms. There's no trying to push off a defender. They literally, other than Pierre Garçon, they do not fight for yards after catch.
Have you seen that?
Go ahead.
Have you seen that ridiculous Le'Veon Bell stiff arm yet? I mean,
No.
he had a run and he pushed a defender with one arm just to the ground, like bounce off me. He just with authority. I mean, that was great.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. I haven't seen much of anything, man. We'll look for that. People are asking where we sat. We were up in the 409 section. It was expensive as hell. Everything was expensive about it, but I had a good time. We were really enjoying ourselves this weekend, man. Listen, I'm going to say something about a player that I never thought I would say the 49ers missed. I think I missed Tank Carradine. Tank Carradine was doing a good job while he was here. Tank Carradine, Eric Armstead, and Buckner, our defensive line just couldn't run the ball on us. Mm-hmm. That's when those three guys, Buckner, Armstead, and Carradine, were killing it, man. They were killing it. Week 1 and week 2. Like that's what it is. That's what's missing, man. So this team, guys, listen, I'm gonna do a podcast this week about the defense. I'm gonna talk about Robert Saleh because I can't get a finger on it, so I have to do some more research before I just jump into it. But I'm gonna talk about
get a finger on it.
Okay. I'm gonna definitely do some more research before I talk about it. But Robert Saleh and his defense is starting to bother me a little bit, and I can't figure out if it's because he's losing his players or if it's the scheme. And I'm gonna go from there, his play calling and when he calls these plays. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Let me see here. Armstead, he plays well against the run. They were running all over us. They agreed. Where did you guys sit? I think Robinson caught another pass. That 2 in a row. What? Oh, yeah. Out at Robinson. Okay, I was thinking defense. I miss Curly. Yeah, Curly was nice. Let me see. Did we have any drop passes today?
No.
Yeah, there was one.
Kittle had one.
There was one. I can't
Kittle
remember
had
what.
one.
Kittle?
First half, I think.
Yeah, it was one early on. I do remember seeing one drop pass early on. There were some amazing catches, too, some catches behind people that shouldn't have been caught, and that was the one to Trent Taylor. Wasn't it Trent Taylor one?
Behind him.
Threw it behind him.
That was a touchdown if at least another 15 yards.
Yeah, if he could have let him up the field with that pass.
But and I can't hold that against Beathard because, like I said, he didn't have
no
time to step back and pass.
You're throwing the ball with grown 300-pound guys in your lap, so you can't sit here and just say, "Oh, he should have done better."
And this game didn't start off well at all. Out of this game, the first fucking kickoff.
The defense had a 3-and-out. Right? Check this out. The defense had Malcolm Smith. We have none of the players that we brought in to be on this defense. Like nobody's here. Nobody's here. Our entire defense, Ronald Blair,
Doomerville.
I mean, Brock Coyle is playing.
I'm about to mute. He's gonna get blocked for 5 minutes now. But he said Brock Coyle's playing. That's what he said. But it's like, dude, I forgot about that. Malcolm Smith gone. Mm-hmm. Foster can't get on the field. You know what I mean? Tank Carradine, fucking Ronald Blair, Eric Armstead. We have a lot of guys who are supposed to be starters that aren't playing for this team, guys. So you guys might be buying some love, some whatever the Robert Saleh right now. I might be being too hard on him. So we'll see, man.
Slacks, Malcolm Smith's contract is 5 years. I believe 5 years with
mad money.
Yeah.
Hey, Mick, what's going on, man? Charles is in the building.
Hey, Chuck, what's going on, baby?
That's my man. We got him a couple of times on the video, so glad you could pop in. But we're about to wrap this one up, man. I promised my wife that we were going to try to watch Walking Dead. Plus, this reception is killing me right now. So, you want to take us home, man? Anything else that you guys want to talk about before you go, Stefan?
No, I'm good. I'm fine with this week finally being over.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, guys, if you're watching right now and you're in the comment section, make sure you check out C. McCarver Jr. as well. He's the Fairfield president for the Fairfield edition for the Niners. Good dude. Met up with him today. He was on our stream as well. big, huge shout out to them, to Niner Empire for hosting us today. All the fans that came up to us and you know, it was very impressive. All the fans coming up like, hey, you guys are nothing but Niners, man. We love the interaction with the fans, man. And being here in California, and from where we're from, I mean, very impressive. Very impressive.
Absolutely. You guys, the fans have made this weekend simply amazing, man. That's not just talking about like being fans of ours. The atmosphere here. It's my first time at a home game, so just meeting people who are from all over the place. We met some people from Hawaii.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people from Arizona that we run into. I mean, all over. New York was represented out there. I mean, this was a hell of a week. So yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, though. Thanks for the love, guys. We really appreciate it. If you guys are doing anything tonight, hit us up. Let us know, man. You guys know where to find us, man. You can even send messages in the comments after the show is over. We'll get the messages. Let us know if you guys are getting into something. Somebody tell me where I can get some good wings from out here on a Sunday, okay? Please.
Yeah, we definitely need some good wings, good food. But man, that pulled pork sandwich today was
banging,
slamming, right?
Man.
Slamming.
Oh my God.
But yeah, guys, like I said, man, check out Niner Empire as well. There for a Fairfield edition, and he's the president over there. But guys, man, stay faithful, man. That's all I can say. This team is not doing well right now, but guys, we got to stick with it. And above all else, stay faithful.